a little after that. I could say about 3-4 months after that. Not even after that, y'all. Thinking about it, I was pregnant with, I had just quit Walmart around September. And I started showing a few months later. And right at the end of that, those months went by, that was the end of the year. When before the end of the year occurred, we had a home invasion around that same time. So a little after Walmart, and able to, get the things that we wanted. Like after we played catch up with bills, getting the kids they stuff they wanted for Christmas and stuff, we experienced a home invasion. 5 guys came in our house. I was on the phone with a friend from North Carolina, and I'm peeping out the blind like this car don't look familiar. And AJ goes to the door, but when he goes to the door, it's like he shut the door and that was it. But they ended up coming right back to the door, and he had the baby. He had one of the kids in his hand. And when he came from the door, I noticed whoever it was, like the footsteps. And I'm on the phone halfway. I'm meeting them. I'm like, AJ, who is that at the door? Like, and before you know it, I see like the gun pointed to AJ, like with my child, with our baby in his hand, was like. And he's taking the phone off my ear and telling me don't say nothing. So I'm like, in my mind, like, what have we got ourselves into? Like, is this real? So I was on the phone cooking, just t-shirt and underwear on a Sunday. And before you know it, the rest of them slowly start coming in the house. And I'm not going to go into details, but I just know that it took them over an hour to rumble and fumble through the house. I was able to identify 2 faces. One, I couldn't really tell the face, but I knew that I seen his face real good. Then the other 2 stayed in the back. They was able to catch one of the guys. They took garbage bags full of clothes, shoes, Michael Kors purses that AJ had just bought me for Christmas. Old Adidas, older Jordans that's been used, like Man Game, our phones. They didn't get what they actually thought that they was coming for, but they did take some very personal items. I had Social Security cards, my original birth certificate that I have not been able to obtain since that incident, being that I was an out-of-state child. Another thing that was very personal was my mama's phone. And in that phone, she shared, videos of her singing, pictures, very good up-close pictures and everything. And I'm thinking about, as I speak on her phone, I know I'm trailing back, and y'all, I'm tired, but I'm trying to finish my story. When I had her phone, whenever they gave me her stuff that she had left on her, she remind y'all, I told y'all she had just gave me her cell phone or password. So once I checked my mama's phone and just checking her notes and stuff, reading her stuff, she had a pin to every bank account she owned in her phone. Like it was a sign, like she just knew that week before she had just gave me her password, and then before you know it, I check her phone after she passed, and all her bank account pins It's in her notes, in her phone. It's like my mama knew that something was about to take place in her life. So, I was able to handle my business on that particular situation that I just discussed. And with our home invasion, you know, of course, we called the police, and then I was scared too, because we was told not to call the police and everything, or they was gonna come back to kill us or whatever. So after they were gone, we ran to my neighbor's house, which is a family member, and they was like, you need to call the police. So that was a written statement. It was an investigation. I was able to identify two of the guys. One got put in jail for that. When it was time to go to court, I told the detective that I did not want to be placed on the stand because I was scared, you know. And he was like, there's times where you don't have to, but when it came down to it, I had to. I was even placed in the courtroom with him, not knowing. Like, it was a done deal, like boom, bam. I was very nervous because I didn't know if he knew why he was in jail, because they hadn't did that to a lot of other homes. But it was just the principle that I was led into a dark situation, and being that I was the one identifying them, my husband didn't have to go, but he was there to support me, being that it was a situation that we both, you know, that both took place for both of us. And they actually came for him, but I was able to witness that in that situation. I was calm 1 minute, upset, praying, aggravated, scared, crying, worried, all of it. My kids witnessed that. And like I said, I'm not about to go into deep details with that. But later down the line, it was, like I said, a lesson learned for some of the daily activities that was done. Kind of let that go. Like, you know, it's time to cut that loose. You know, I was very paranoid. Like, check doors at night. Not liking to go to sleep. Really, like it messed with both of us. And that night when it took place, we didn't try to run to no family members' house. We stayed there where it was, and we slept in the living room. All of us, like, AJ was like, we not about to go stay by nobody's house. They come back, we're going to be ready. Like there's an army by ourselves. Because of the stuff that his daddy had to left there. Like, we ain't need no team to back us up after that. But anyways, like, you know, AJ eventually grasped on to the life changes that took place in his life for the better, for us being a husband as well as a father. Because, you know, no father want their child grown up falling down that wrong path that they've made in life. So he stepped up to the plate and kind of let go a lot of, you know, people that may have influenced his life with that activity that should not have taken place. And from there, we was just surrounded by family. Some family that I just didn't want to be bothered with. Like, you walking outside, it's this, it's that, or the atmosphere itself. It wasn't just the family or surrounding area. It's just the air that I breathed. Like, it was suffocating or choked out. You know, like if you've ever been in a smoky room or something, or you done burned something over the stove and trying to hurry up and put it out, and that smell, that smoky smell, like that's how I felt. Like I was over it with being there. like some of the stuff in the trailer. Like a trailer would deteriorate faster than a house, so there's a lot of stuff that needed to be kept up, replaced, or just it wasn't the same. Like after that home invasion, I feel like my trailer was not the same to me. They came in there and messed up my carpet. Like I was so OCD, you could, and to this day, take off your shoes when you walk inside. It was raining that day, so red mud was everywhere, hard to get from out the carpet. Like I pulled up the whole carpet eventually. It wasn't it didn't feel like our home anymore. So I was ready to move. So we moved to a different little city, Covington, and our rent was like really high, but AJ was working a good job. But once we moved to Covington, his job was in Hammond, like almost a 30-minute drive, depending on the traffic. He let that job go, and when he let that job go, it's like we was kind of, trying to maneuver to stay in balance, to stay in a flow with the bills that we had for us. One, the rent, plus, light bill and water bill and whatever else. Car note, car insurance and stuff like that. So it's like we was like our head was over the water, but it was slowly getting under. But we managed that for a year. When a year passed, it was time for us to be like, I guess, recertification to seeing if we still qualified to stay back there. For us, income wise, I felt like, why would that matter as long as you paying your bills? And we, anyways, I used to let AJ handle that, being that he was the one working. So I never really went in the office. So I don't know what took place or what kind of got behind or what was said, but we ended up having to move the day of. After getting notices on the door, I'm not sure what the notices was. AJ used to kind of not having me try to worry about certain things because I was pregnant again, but we end up having to move. And when we moved, we had to move that, we got that knock on the door saying it, being that AJ wasn't making enough, like we had to move that same day. I cried like a baby because I felt like in that environment, it was different than what we lived at the trailer. I didn't want to have to go back to the trailer. I know it was mine. It's paid for. I was comfortable in that different environment, that air that I was breathing. My cousin stayed a few houses down. We stayed doing the family gatherings and stuff. But when I wanted to be in my house, I knew to stay in my house, and I ain't have to be outside bothered or whatever, however. So yeah, we ended up having to move back to the trailer. And that was just a more humbling experience, embracing and appreciating the things that you actually own and have, rather it's something you want or you don't want, So my kids had to be transferred. My stepdaughter had just moved with us, and it's like we had to switch her stuff back around. It was just a lot. The kids in the room with us, because at this time the trailer, one end of the house was getting redone. But with us being in Covington, we wasn't really at the trailer as often. And Ivory would be there sometimes, sleep, and it's like we didn't want to just barge in all the time. And just didn't really have the time to fix the walls. We knocked the walls and stuff down. Like we didn't have the time to getting everything the way it needed to be before we even thought about trying to move back, So the sheetrock needed to be replaced because the water heater had busted and messed up a lot of stuff. So we needed to get a lot of things, redone before even moving back. So that took away 2 rooms, really 1, but the kids had a room to store their stuff in. But when we moved back, everything stayed in totes and on hangers. Like it was stuff stacked up. Like I didn't take stuff and put everything up in a way. One, we had a room too, and just like the kids would have a mattress and lay it on the floor in our room, and the kids in the bed with us. Like we was all bunched up. I'm just thinking about it, but I humbly embraced it all. And 4 months down the line, August, we had to move in August, September, October. 2 months later, God opened up another door for us to move in. And I had got a letter asking, would you be willing to move, like, 4-bedroom. That was before they realized how big the household was. And then when we came for the do the application and stuff, and they figure out how many kids, they was like, oh, we have a 5-bedroom available, and before even accepting this offer, I got offers to move into other different parts of Texas. I was like, God, what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? So it took us 2 months for God to humbly break us back down to building us back up again. I was trying to go to a mental health facility, thinking that I needed medicine. Like my OCD was so bad because I stayed on the go, because I was not in a comfortable position to where I feel like I can relax without having to worry about moving and cleaning. My moving and cleaning and scrubbing and just picking up was my coping. Some people like to smoke marijuana, weed, whatever you want to call it. I call it weed. If some people like to drink, some people like to smoke cigarettes, anything, whatever other people feel like it's a habit for them, it's because that's their way of coping or trying to numb themselves up from certain situations. But my healing was moving, cleaning, or eating nice. But there's not really a coping or something I go through. That's just a habit I got, but I'm addicted to. But yes, 2 months down the line, like we was traveling back and forth to Texas to Hammond area. People not even knowing. My sister didn't even know that first time we came down here. Like we just let the kids miss school, and we handled our business. Like once everything, like I'm the type of person, I don't like to announce nothing, premature blessings until they're permanent, until I've delivered, until they've actually been delivered to me. I don't want nobody raining or pouring down on my parade for the showers of blessings that I receive in my life until they are done, accomplished, and I feel like I'm ready to announce this and that. That's when I feel like it's appropriate to do so. I don't need nobody praying on my downfall, and trust and believe. I know there has been many praying on my downfall or ours, within my family. But I have learned to silence myself, So I didn't tell, and that's with anybody. I'm very, very private about a lot. So, yes, didn't nobody know we was coming back and forth to Texas. And once everything was finalized, when it was close to time to getting keys, that's when I told my sister that we was soon about to be moving to Texas and stuff. And then I told the kids, the kids, they ain't understand what we was doing. I wanted to have keys in our hand and this and, I want everything to be set in stone. And I am so grateful and thankful. And when we got the keys, actually I had to go back a second time, and that second time, that's when we got the keys once everything was approved. When I got the keys, some stuff still needed to be renovated and was waiting on the gas stuff to be like the city to come approve it. Everything, I guess, for the final inspection. And that took, she thought that it would be ready by Thanksgiving, but by Thanksgiving it wasn't. And then after Thanksgiving they thought it would be done, and she's like, we got bad news. Like, oh, what's going on? She's like, you ain't gonna be able to move on the date that I'm like, well, what day? Because I need to drop my kids from school and stuff. So make the long story short, I emailed the lady and let her know that it's temporary. I say it's delayed but not denied. Let her know that I'm a firm believer. I have faith in God. That ain't no bad news. It's just, I'm patiently waiting. But I told her that I had plans on dropping my kids from school. We have a set date for the truck company. I have stuff lined up. I canceled my doctor's appointments. Like I said, I thought I was about to be placed on medicine, but it wasn't that I needed it. I'm down here. I don't feel like I have, like, I still like my stuff nice and neat, but there's not a must. I'm learning to embrace the fact that we have 8 kids in here. It's not gonna be perfect, but in my mind, I felt like things needed to be a certain way at all times. I didn't let my kids be kids running around the house and playing when we were there, because I was in an uncomfortable situation to where I felt like our living arrangements was not the best, So God has gave us all this space, 3 floors. This is the family room. We got 5 bedrooms. This is the room that, of course, the closet is full. The room is full for us, whatever we want in here. But the kids have their own space. Although they still suffer times, they still be in our room. But I even have a business, like I have an office. I have my business stuff set up in there. The environment, the air, like just everything around us is so much for the better. I never felt like things would get worse. I always felt like even in my worst times that I've experienced and I've shared with y'all, I've always felt that it would soon be better. God didn't place me on this earth to, I always feel down and bad and out, worried and stressed. Like I knew I was not going down that path that my mama experienced. And it's a blessing to having 8 kids, or just kids in general, because our kids keep us up on our toes. Who knows how I would have been if I didn't have men. Like I said, I was living faster than what I should have been. I experienced going to little clubs, like teenager clubs in North Carolina, when I was up there partying. When we moved down here, like within them partying moments, I never say that I'm not saying that I used to drink and smoke at these parties, but I've seen where they've been either fighting in Mason. They didn't bring guns to how they are now, but they would mace up the whole place and stuff. People running and like it was just too much. Because one, you never know if someone got a gun, but Bullet don't have a name on it at all. Bullet ain't got nobody's name on it. So I kept it. So yes, things in life can either make you or break you. And we planned to have kids, but we didn't plan to say we gonna have so many kids or a certain number of kids. God blessed us with 8 kids. I was pregnant 9 times. Like I said, I had a miscarriage before April. I was like 14 weeks pregnant. I had the experience that going back from the doctor to at home, so I know how that feels to losing a child. Although it was just a few weeks old. But I feel like our kids is who make us. We are young parents. We are a married couple. There's been times where even within our marriage, it has not been the best. There's been times where even within our marriage, it has not been the best. But we learned how to balance each other out. We learned how to continue to be a union, keeping God first, trying to sway the negative energy from us. Environment change here is so much different. Like, sometimes I'm afraid to even want to go back to Louisiana. And it's not really me being afraid because I miss the family. But I feel like this piece, what I've grasped here, I don't want to have to go back, you know? Granted that we don't have any extra hands in here to helping us with our kids, but we've never been dependent on others for our kids. Never. You know, it's a blessing for us to be in a couple to balancing each other out with all our kids, because it'll be hard if we didn't. You know, I'd be like, man, I wish, you know, my kids had this, or, you know, we had the extra support, but it's all about what you make of it. It's all about what you make out of it in life. And that's with anything, not just kids. If you don't have kids, whatever you go through in life, it's all about what you make it. You've heard our hard times, me struggling, me crying about stuff that I felt like I let go, but sometimes it's good to talk about certain things that you done held in, release that, you know, and I feel like I really let that go. And I didn't, because I needed to cry that out. And it felt good. I told my husband, I was like, I'm in here sharing a story and I'm in here crying. He's like, oh, everything gonna be all right. And y'all, my mouth is dry, sorry, my lips is dry, but I am tired. That is my story. Like I said, we have 8 kids. It's never been a struggling time to where we just feel like we can't do it. Even within our struggling times, God has placed the right people in our life to helping us continue to grow when we felt, you know, weakened. Our roots maybe have dried out. You know how they say, continue to water your seeds. And once you continue to water your seeds, watch it grow. And within each season, understand and know that your flower may not graspably grow each season that occur within your life, but if you continue to clean around your seeds and your flower that kind of prematured from the growth spurt, continue to clean around that hole that you dug and those seeds that you planted, those dry dead weeds, maneuvering and picking it up and watching your work, it'll still work out in your favor. You might not gradually grow each time a season change within your life. Notice there's 4 different seasons within this year. You might not grow within every season, every day that comes, though. There's progress, there's change. It might be you having to take back and dig some old dried, weeds. But as long as you continue to water your seeds, they will grow. It may not grow as fast as you want it to. As long as you continue to water your seeds, God will shower down blessings upon your life eventually. It may not, like I said, it may not come when you want it, but God is always an on-time God. And like I said, our kids is a blessing to us. Ira is back up. I want to create memories with this YouTube channel. I want to, grow a big fan base for, even if you're not a mom, if you an auntie, a uncle, a cousin, a grandma, a friend, a brother, sister, whoever is watching, whatever your status is with others in your life, I hope that you can learn from us. Not only learn, enjoy our videos that we share and capture. There may be times that I do share a little of our life, how we do things, how we able to manage, raising 8 kids. How some people can't manage raising 1 or 2 kids. Like, it's so hard. I've read and heard other people share, but I don't see how it can be. I guess it's based off of what you have going on in your life. But I like to kind of pinpoint our routine. We might not follow it daily, but we have a routine where we get it done together. We balance each other out. I might not be the wife that cook all the time like I used to, but I'm a mother as well. And what he may be in the kitchen doing, I'm changing diapers, feeding babies, helping with homework, cleaning up behind them, folding clothes. It's never where, Indy in the room laying down, going to sleep, while AJ in there cooking and cleaning and tending the kids. No, I lay down when he lay down, and sometimes when he lay down, I don't. Like, I do let him take naps and stuff when he can, because I know cooking and stuff, they can pull a lot out of you. But it's days when I'm in the kitchen cooking. Like today, I'm tired. I cooked. I cleaned up as I cooked. He's like, I could have did that, but I'm balancing him out because he was folding clothes, had the baby, and watching TV. I let him sit down and do that because I'm always sitting down on my computer, but that's like a real full-time job. Edit videos and posting and trying to just stay consistent with good content. So yes, guys, I am about to wrap this video up. That was a lot of pieces I shared within my life of my story and how I am a mother of 8 and managing all the things that happen within my life. Like, I pray to God that as my kids get older, I've learned the mistakes that has occurred in my life or from others in my life, and pray that my kids don't experience trauma or experience things that they have to look back on and cry about. I'm like, well, my mom and my daddy didn't do this. I want to be more open and freely and communicate and embrace love, hug my kids and let them know that, we love them, and just enjoying every moment, even when it's days they in here being hard-headed and not listening. I still want to embrace the fact that they know that their mom and their daddy love them, and they gotta push them off on nobody. I don't want them growing up saying, well, my mama raised up such and such kids and other kids in a household with another family or family members. No, all our kids are gonna be raised up together, and that's what we're doing. We're raising them up in one household, and that is gonna be that until God calls us home. I pray to God he don't leave no sign soon, because I enjoy my babies. We be tired, but I ain't just having kids to be having them. We good parents. That's all y'all need to know. I am ending this video. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more. If you want to know more about, something else, I don't mind sharing stories, because like I said, I hope my story be an inspiration to somebody else. Cause like I said, it didn't break me. It didn't. I cried today because I needed that. But it strengthened me. You know, it strengthened me. And I see the strength my kids have. Like, you know, I see pieces of me and AJ. And I would soon have him behind the camera with me. I told him, get ready because it's coming. They want to see both of us. I'm sure y'all want to see both of us interacting of how we both, you know, came about with doing this or doing that, or how we learned how to do certain things with our kids. So I want this channel to be a family fun channel, a learning experience. If you have kids, if it's a question you need to ask about how to do this and how to manage this, you know, I don't mind sharing, you know, my tips on how I manage certain things. Hair care, like she got crazy cap now on the skin. It can mess up your skin. How I'm keeping her skin all moisturized and stuff, like her scalp good and clean. She finally got her first hair wash out, and she's about to be 3 months. So yeah, she just got her first hair washed. Her first hair wash day was 2 days ago. After all this time, 3 months about to be, yeah. So I don't mind sharing tips like that, y'all. Just leave a comment down below if y'all want us to do a Q&A. I would love to do that. I want everybody to get to know us and become a big family. You know, we already a big family, so we want to have a bigger family. So stay tuned for another video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know how long this video gonna be. I'm sorry, but I'm sure I left out a lot of details, but I wanted to just share a few pieces. Ira, say bye. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.